Hello. I've been waiting all day for this. Give it to me. Come on.
Hello. Y'all gonna have to deal with the smoky tonight. Wow, that got real deep. See, when a boy turns into a man, no, that's every time this happens, I really hope that I will become a real boy. But it never lasts. Bell said, Batman.
Absolutely. There's a music guy, he's a country guy, Josh Turner, who has a real deep voice.
You could Black Train.
Yeah, you could do some Josh Turner, but I've been waiting all day to hear the Batman.
Luke, I am your father. Hi,
Wait
everybody.
a minute. That's not Batman. Luke, that's the...
No, it's not.
Okay, I'm like going,
Darth
that's
Vader.
the... Yeah.
Yes.
I've never seen that
I don't know.
show.
I could sing the Weird Al song, truck, riding the truck, riding the big old
Well, I think you sound great. And I'm drinking out of my special glass. I'm the reason Santa has a naughty list. In case everybody wondered why there was a naughty list. It's all me.
Is accurate. That is accurate, for sure.
It's all me.
I sound nothing like myself. This is weird. I don't like it. I
like it, kind of.
I had a volunteer come up today because she was doing an evaluation of a team or a prospective team. And she walked in and apologizing for my voice. And I was trying to tell them, like, it sounds like it hurts. There is no pain. I had slight cold symptoms yesterday and then boom. And the cold symptoms went away minus this. And she was like, I think it's sexy. And I was like, you, ma'am, are like 63 years old. I don't mind. That's fine. It's like, no, I lied. She's in her 70s. She's in her 70s. And I was like, no. I mean, it's cute. Thanks.
It's kind of sexy.
So,
I mean, I do. What does Mrs. Brewmeister think? Does she think it sounds sexy?
She thinks that I talk too much and that's why this happened, which is probably true. It's definitely overuse as part of it, but I stopped streaming so much, so I did not expect this. It came out of left field.
Well, but there's also a lot, I don't know about your weather there. I mean, we were like 40 degrees and today was 74.
It was 74 where you were?
Yes, it's 74 in Austin, Texas today.
It has bounced back and forth. In fact, here's something weird. Yesterday in Virginia, it was colder than it was in Alaska. Which is weird. On average. But like, it's been like 50 and then 19 at night. And then, it's just rough. And then also I was in a different state for Thanksgiving, which we can talk about Thanksgiving later. But that was different weather with different allergens and everything else. So I think just it was
It is.
as much as I would like this to strengthen and stay this low, because I feel like I could do like in a world where YouTube streamers are all very popular. I just like I feel like get to the chopper. I feel like I got a
Oh my
chance.
God. I love it. Now I think you should just keep talking a whole lot so it'll stay that way for a while. What do
There's
you
a piece of
think?
me that really wants to do that.
What do your kids think?
um, they they just want to watch Leo on Netflix. Um,
Oh,
that they don't really. It's just like, oh, that's just dad. He's being silly again. Um, but yeah, they're just. I think I've seen. If you haven't seen Leo on Netflix, it's animated, but it's by Adam Sandler, and it's Adam Sandler as a lizard, and then Bill Burr as a turtle, and the two of them together are hysterical. It was really well done. It's like everything Adam Sandler wished he could tell his kids, or
oh.
he had told his kids. It's so well put together. I love it.
Okay,
Um,
then I'll have to watch it with my littles
yeah, watch it with Monkey Butt.
because we'll have Monkey Butt and Action Jackson on Saturday. I went and saw
That's
the new
awesome.
Disney movie Wish.
Oh, Wish. How was it?
Guys, I cried. I laughed. My
Oh,
heart swelled. I got mad. It was perfect. It was wonderful. And Julia Michaels wrote the music, a lot of the music for it, and performed. And she is just phenomenal. If you've not heard her, don't know who she is amazing. And just, it was great. So, Wish, I don't know if you watch Disney, we're big Disney people. Like in Pinocchio, he wishes on a star. They wish on a
yeah.
star in Princess and the Frog. And they do in a lot of different Disney movies. So they kind of took that concept of wishing on a star, but
Oh,
it's really good. But Chris Pines is a bad guy. He's
ooh,
bad. He's naughty. He's hot in the movie, but he's naughty.
it is an animated film.
It is an animated film. But you can tell it's him. It looks like him. Kind of like I
Yeah.
believe the hyena in the original Lion King that Whoopi Goldberg voiced. I'm sorry,
Oh,
that hyena,
those.
I looked at it. I'm like, that's Whoopi.
Oh, no. Those hyenas were drawn to look like those people. I mean, Whoopies look like Whoopi.
Yeah.
Um, Cheech, Cheech Marin was
Cheech.
the other
Mm-hmm.
hyena. That looked like Cheech.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember who did the voice of Ed, but yeah. So, I mean, that was purposeful for sure.
Yeah. Well, they did the same thing
But
in Wish.
yeah,
Oh,
I just saw a stand-up comedian's bit yelling at Disney for always creating movies that make you cry. So yeah,
well,
can you just make a fun one, please?
but they do. I mean, I like that it gives you all of the realms of emotions.
Yeah,
I mean, you go up, you go down. I mean, because that's a good show, a good movie. I don't, I don't want to watch a movie that's just funny. I want it to have funny parts. I want it to have sad parts.
yeah.
I want the full
That's
package.
that's how Elemental was for me. Did you see Elemental?
I did.
That was a good one.
And it was a good one. There's only
Yeah.
been a couple of Disney movies that I didn't like.
Uh-oh.
Only been a couple that I didn't care for.
Are these unpopular opinions?
Like Little Mermaid. I didn't like Little Mermaid. Now,
Yeah.
I like the Little Mermaid live performance that they do at Disney World, but I
Oh, okay.
didn't
All right.
like the movie. I have a problem with somebody brushing their hair with a fork because to me, it's just cruel that because there was a movie that came out after that when I got a little bit older, and they took these kids and they taught them the wrong words for everything. So, like, they taught them that a fork was really a hairbrush, and then they ate with the hairbrush. So, and it showed how that you could take young kids and
Yeah.
totally screw their world up by that. And that's when I said,
Words
I
are
really,
vacuous.
yeah. So I really don't like it anymore.
I
So,
you know, every now and again I'll make a comment about a movie. Like for instance, like you had said, she brushes her hair with a fork, and I'll say it to Carrie, and Carrie will say, she'll say, "You know that these are animals that talk, right? Like this is not
right.
serious." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I mean, if you're gonna do it." Also, Captain, thank you. Jim Cummings was Ed. He did
Oh,
sing some of Scar for Jeremy Irons. Jim Cummings is also the voice of Winnie the Pooh, as well as many, many other characters. He's phenomenal.
how come? Yeah. So she's got issues. I mean, she has
She
issues.
does.
And
You know what?
maybe it was because it was on VHS, and I don't know if anybody remembers this. I just remember I was so excited to see it when I was younger. I don't remember when it came out, and I came home with it. And the first thing my brother did was look at the cover, and he goes, "Why is there penis on the cover?" Because
you
the
had
original, I
you had
have the original,
the cover.
and I don't know if that made me be like, "Oh, that's weird." Then to watch the movie and things were called wrong. There was just a lot that just
If you are not a fan of The Little Mermaid, then you should watch One Moment, Please. Netflix just released a new animated, well, relatively new. What is it called? Kraken, Kraken, I believe it's called.
Kraken.
And Kraken, yeah, like but it's all about this girl and her discovering her true identity, and but mermaids are not in the greatest of light in that movie. So you might like it. Yeah, Kraken, Samantha, Sam, thank you.
Yes. I
It
also
is
don't like
it's good.
Shrek.
Okay, well, we might fight on that one. At least the
I,
original.
I'll be honest, I've only
Okay.
seen it once. I've only seen
I
it
think you should give
once.
it one more shot.
Okay, maybe I will. And it was back when I saw it back when I was married to A Hole. So maybe that was
Oh,
it.
oh
But like I couldn't
that
even
covers
tell
everything.
you what the story was about. I mean, I really couldn't tell you. I think they fall in love and they were ogres. That's all I could tell you about it. So maybe it was just a
That's a
bad
bit
time
of
in my
it.
life.
Yeah, I think give it another shot. At
I
least the
will.
first movie. There's a lot that comes from that
Okay.
movie that's used in normal rhetoric every day now. Like,
Okay. The
well,
donkey
at
was
least my
amazing,
everyday. Yeah, oh yeah, Eddie Murphy killed it.
but that was Eddie
Absolutely.
Murphy.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
but yeah,
Disney took some very freaking sad stories and turned them into something else.
yeah. So I will commit to watching Shrek again because we own it. The littles watch it. I just never watch it
What
because when they turn it on, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm out.
you're gonna watch Shrek? What should I commit to watching?
What should you commit to watching? Jim and the Holograms.
What the hell is that? That sounds.
Oh, give
What
it
the
a
hell is that?
goog. It was my favorite animated thing that I would watch while I was getting dressed when I think I was a freshman in high school.
This looks like a fever dream mushroom trip.
It is great. And
But
she has a great
but
voice and she sings.
is it? Wait, hold on. I saw the cart. It was the cartoon.
It was a
That's what
cartoon.
first popped up.
Yeah, it
It's
was
a
a
musical
cartoon.
drama film.
Yeah, no, I watched the
Wait,
cartoon.
wait. Is it from
Captain knows what I'm
2015
talking about.
or was there a previous one?
Oh
Oh, the
no, it
TV
was
series.
yeah, it was back in the 80s. Like
Right,
I started
got
high
it.
school in 84. But
You know
Jim
they made
was
a movie of
I
this
loved
in
it.
2015, right?
Nope, I don't want to watch the movie.
Okay, don't
I'm
watch
going to
it.
stick to Gem of the Holograms because I had great
I
memories with
will.
her.
I will
I
try
even had the
and
TV that
find.
I still had to change the dial, and I had to take the antenna and move the ears to work.
Um, I will find out where to watch it.
I think you can watch it online.
Oh shoot, Netflix maybe.
Yeah. But so I think you should watch that.
Oh no, not Netflix. That's okay. Oh, is anybody else agreeing?
I see
Truly,
something about
truly.
Squid Games.
Oh geez, I
Oh, I
saw the
do.
original.
Yeah, and I remember the TV series Beauty and the Beast. I love Beauty and the Beast. It's one of my favorites, that and Cinderella and Snow White. I want to be Belle.
That's Mrs. Bruce Graham's favorite princess, and it
Is it?
makes sense because she is very book smart and very independent.
Yeah. And I love books. I mean, I love everything about her. I love
Um,
everything about her. I
so
keep trying to get H for Halloween one year for him to dress up as the Beast and me to
oh
dress
my
up as
god, you'd be
Belle.
amazing.
Yeah, he always likes to go for the gory, crazy looking
Well,
stuff.
he can be a horror version of the Beast.
No,
If I
you
looked like that, I'd be
cannot.
ripping people to
Nope.
shreds.
Nope, you cannot do that to the Beast. You can't. So, what are you
Um,
drinking? Because I'm drinking a special bottle tonight.
you are. I am not. If you see me pouring constantly, it's because this is basically water. This is Behringer Main and Wine White Zinfandel. Um, they.
That's an
This is
easy
a.
drinking.
Yeah, yeah. Like I've literally had that much already since we
Okay.
started.
It will
Um.
sneak up on you. So be careful. Your
Oh, I'm sure it
your
will.
immune system might be down a little bit. Well, I'm drinking a
I'm
Stella.
killing. uh,
You're killing stuff. I think you need hard liquor to
I'm
kill
killing
the
all of the
germs.
bad stuff in my throat. I'm gonna get better by killing it with alcohol. That works that
Okay,
way.
but what I've heard, wine, because it's fermented, it doesn't kill germs and stuff like vodka, tequila, rum. It encourages.
That is that's the thought process of terrorists, and I don't support that. Um, that is that science is by the same people who ate horse paste and drank bleach to get rid of COVID.
Well, I've
Oh,
drinking a Moscato for the first time ever that I got to meet. I'll just call her Elle because I don't know if I'm supposed to release what her first name is. She is the
huh.
special update that we have coming up. Double H and I are working on editing it. It was from season 1, episode 3, that we helped somebody out, a listener, with something. And she agreed to do an update. And we did the interview a couple weeks ago. She came to Chase Lackey event and brought me this bottle of wine that she was drinking the day we did the interview. So I am
she
drinking Moscato.
she delivered faster than our apparent sponsor. is,
Yeah,
is that still
um,
happening? Because I don't know.
it is. And I've gone back and forth because they say it was shipped and it was signed for.
Have
And
they
it
sent
is
you the
not,
shipping number?
uh, they're supposed to. And that's been 4 months,
Uh,
5 months. And to be
yeah.
honest, I kind of just realized they're having problems. They were purchased by a very large fashion brand. And I
Oh,
personally think they were like,
yep.
oh, yeah, we don't want to honor that.
Listen, if
I
anybody
canceled.
watching knows, hmm?
I canceled my wine club membership with them that my mom and I had 15 over 20 years.
If anybody knows anybody who does wine or anything really, Not who has a liquor store, but who actually does wine or liquor or whatever, and they're interested in having stuff on the show. Terry and I are more than happy to give a shout out. We just obviously have to taste it first.
Absolutely. Well, I will tell y'all, and I actually tasted this and I shared it on our Facebook page, I think. And I am going to be sending you a bottle. It's called Mudslinger, and it's a Bloody Mary mix. And it
I haven't had
is,
too much Bloody Mary.
well, HH loves it. I don't like tomatoes, but I actually tasted this stuff. It's a horseradish heat instead of jalapeno. So if it didn't have tomatoes, if it wasn't tomato based, I might like it, but I will say it was good. And I'm going to ask them if maybe they want us to give them some shout outs
That'd
for
be good.
that.
It looks like
Because,
Sam knows some people in Orlando and California. So that's
yes,
good.
yes. I'm working on another winery that is in Texas that HH and I actually joined their wine club because
Oh, cool.
it is the first Texas wine that I thought was worth my
Right.
money to buy or drink.
Ooh. Amos,
Amos?
I
Oh, is it Amos?
Amos, yeah, I sound bad. I don't feel bad. I have no other symptoms. I just sound like Batman.
Can you stop saying you sound bad?
Yep,
Because you sound
I
sexy.
sound bad, man.
You sound sexy.
Oh,
I could fall asleep
yeah.
to that voice. I could replace Keith Morrison for a couple of nights with your voice.
It would only be a couple of nights because I'll go right back to helium-inspired JT in a little bit.
And you know what? Speaking of Keith Morrison, I don't know if anyone follows him on Twitter or anywhere. He does not ever share things and ask for donations. He doesn't get anything to have to do with money. He did share Matthew Perry's foundation that went live
Good
a
for
couple
him.
of days after he died. So he did share that for Sharing Tuesday. And I appreciated that. And I think it was more impactful because he never does stuff like that. So it really hit me in the feels. And I really had to go and jump and donate. Oh, yes.
Okay. Don't go. All done. I did it. Don't go. Are you okay with me moving to the next thing?
Absolutely. Let's go. It's
Okay.
tough, but let's go.
Oh, all right. Here we go. So Kelly P reached out to me today, and just as I always have said ever since I met everybody in the community, and you know me, if we can do some good with the platform we have, obviously we're going to do it. And so to me, that's really important. So Kelly P came to me. Kelly P came. What am I telling them? That's what I want to know. Oh yeah. All right. Okay.
Can you talk dirty to me,
So
please?
Kelly sent me this information about somebody who's missing. Now, it's in Mount Dora, Florida. You all might not be in that area. You might have some friends that are in that area. Oh, good night. But I think it's important to share because we can do that here. We have that privilege. And I think if you have the privilege, you need to use it for good and not for selfish purposes. Okay. So Nicole Baldwin. Oh boy, this is gonna sound like a movie trailer. Nicole Baldwin has been missing since November 2nd, 2023. She's from Mount Dora, Florida, in Lancaster on Strathmore Circle. She's 41. Her height's 5'5". She's 135 pounds. She's got brown hair that's dyed blonde with hazel eyes. I'm glad they said dyed blonde because if it's been almost a month, chances are roots are starting to show. When she went missing, she was wearing a pink nightgown She was barefoot. She didn't have any belongings with her. It's possible she's in a mental health crisis, and she does need medication for serious health conditions. So please, 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 if you can share this, if you look up missing Nicole Baldwin on Facebook, you'll find the group. But if our court killers can share this around, we have a wide reach, and that would be very good. As you can see, you can see her tattoos there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know anything, contact the Mount Dora Police Department. And the hashtags that they're using are Find Nicole Baldwin and Missing in Florida. And in, well, soon to be 3 days. You get to the next
I think it's
one.
December 6th?
Yeah.
Or December?
December 3rd.
December 3rd.
They're doing a search party. So if you're around that area and you want to be a part of search party, they're doing it on December 3rd at 2 p.m. They're meeting at La Gracia, I hope I said that right, Baptist Church. And they're asking for people to bring their side-by-sides, their four-wheelers, and their quads. I have no idea what a side-by-side is, but that being said, don't let the voice fool you. I have the testosterone level of an 80-year-old. No, I'm kidding. I hope everybody just died collectively just then. But after the search, they're also going to be doing a candlelight vigil as well. This woman is a mom of 3. Let me get to let me bring up just a little bit more information that was shared with me by Kelly. Thanks, by the way, again, Kelly. So she has a 20-year-old daughter. She has an 11-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old son. And her 20-year-old daughter, I'm not going to say their names just because I don't want to bring more attention. I want to bring attention to the missing. I don't want to. Okay. Anyway, so her 20-year-old daughter has kept her Apple. Apparently, when she was taken, like, things were left, like her Apple Watch and other things, right? I think that's what she
her purse, her phone. I mean,
right.
A woman doesn't leave those things.
Right. Since she's been missing, her 20-year-old daughter's had her Apple Watch on, trying to keep little things to hold on to her, she said. They're really worried about her well-being, and that it's very unlike her to disappear. So Mountain Door is leading that investigation. And so if anybody knows anything, or if you can share it, please do. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
so yeah.
I've learned from the Chase Lackey case and dealing with them, sharing that Facebook page, join the group gets the word out there. The more people that join that page with updates and share it, that's the great thing about social media. You can share it. You may say, I don't know anybody in Florida, but if you share it to your group, there may be 15 people that know people in Florida and can share it with them. So definitely, I would say share it, but also join the finding page.
Yeah, that's one of the best ways that you can stay in touch with everything that's going on. Kelly says that Mount Dora is close to Orlando.
Yeah,
I'm
Kissimmee.
Right now. Yeah,
it's Orlando, Kissimmee, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, Kissimmee. It's 37 minutes northwest of Orlando. So there's a lot going around in that area. I mean, a lot going on. So yeah, definitely share that stuff.
No, absolutely. I shared it from our true crime page and joined it with that, and we'll do whatever we can and get the word out. And I think all of us should. One thing I've started doing is we try to share a lot of those things, because I'm learning after my experience with Chase's family, having a loved one, and I'm going to try not to cry, having a loved one missing is worse than losing them to death or an accident, because you can't grieve. You can't say goodbye. It's not knowing, and no family.
Yeah.
And there's got to be foul play if her stuff's there. I just can't help but jump to that.
Yeah, and I think what you say brings up, I mean, kind of is a good transition too into the last thing before we move into our cases, which not only not knowing, but knowing that somebody knows something and them not saying anything. That's
That
see what I did
pisses
there.
me off. That just pisses me off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, I'm going to try and save my voice for the case that I have. I will let you all know that we're doing Terry's case first because if with my case anything is triggering and everything is triggering with my case, I wanted you to be able to at least hear half the show. My case deals with child abuse of really young children. It is one of the hardest things that I've ever had to cover. I have covered it previously on Brew Crime, but I wanted to bring it back because we had made some shifts to the genre of what we were covering tonight. And so it's tough. So we'll make sure that you know when we're switching over to the next thing. But Terry's gonna hop into her case in a second here. And so just a warning about that in the future. And I'll do it again when it comes time. But for now, I'm going to shut up and let you do your thing.
Okay. And we'll definitely want to put up the ticker at the bottom when we get to your case. Before I jump into my case, wanted to do a real quick update on Chase Lackey. We did have the bubble celebration for him the Saturday before Thanksgiving to honor his birthday. And it was better than I could have imagined. We had 35 people, give or take, show up. It was amazing. The stories, I've shared it on our page. I mean, it was so great meeting people who knew him when he was younger. And the other crazy thing, I met and saw people from my past, from my childhood, that know him because they lived by his sister. I mean, it's just shocking. And it just tells me that we were meant to jump into the craziness of his case. And I keep getting more and more signs that say that. I will say, stay tuned. We do have a news outlet that we are working with, that we are trying to schedule a interview for the news with Chase's parents. We're trying to get that done next week. So everybody sharing stuff is really starting to get information flowing in. I reached out to somebody else who offered to help do some research because the tips and names just keep pouring in. So same thing with this other case. Sharing it is going to help so much because you never know who knows something or saw something.
And not just that, but sharing it and creating a more widespread understanding and knowledge of the case puts pressure on law enforcement, the appropriate type of pressure. There's no winning with what I said.
Hey, if it'll motivate them to get off their ass and do their jobs.
Okay, you said it.
I have no problem saying that because I can tell you in Chase's case, Harris County Sheriff's Department has sucked lemons. And I used lemons instead of what I really wanted to say. But nope, that's even nicer than what I was going to say. Oh, let's just say it. They suck balls. They just suck balls. I'm going to just say it. Then come at me. Have a conversation with me. Come at me. Talk to me. But I will just say, reading the little bit of the story, it looks like the police there didn't jump into action either. And I want to say the thought that, oh, they're an adult, they have the right to go missing is bullshit. Just like with Chase, it is bullshit. An adult does not leave their cell phone, their keys, all of that crap behind to go take a walk and intentionally leave. Unless there is a severe mental health issue going on and that plays into it. That's the only time. So I really have a problem with law enforcement who says, oh, they're an adult, they have a right to go missing. And I tell HH all the time, if I go missing and my phone is here, you know somebody took me. Now, you may not want me back, HH, but you know I didn't do it intentionally. Because that's just not something you do.
We know who gets the primary amount of attention on missing cases.
Yeah.
Which are younger, blonde haired, blue eyed girls. And she is blonde and younger, and if this is how they treat her, I can't even imagine how the other people are not even discussed. So,
I have another family that I haven't even told you yet because they reached out on Facebook, and I've reached back and said, hey, let's have a conversation. I was honest with them. I don't know if I can help. We do not have the bandwidth. We are doing so much with Chase's case, real life, the podcast. But I told them I will have a conversation. Excuse me. The young man is another young man that went missing, and he wasn't a perfect victim. So, and believe it or not, it is Harris County once again,
of course,
sucking balls.
Whoever's balls they're sucking is a really lucky human being.
Oh yeah, they're getting sucked all the time. Okay, I will get off.
They're paying.
I will just get off, but I will say there is some updates coming to the Chase case. Probably we'll do it in January, just because a lot of things. I have 8 or 9 interviews scheduled with different people connected to the case. So my thought is to do a lot of that during the holidays so that we can put it out in January. Yeah. So, now my case is not as dark as yours, which I find interesting because I'm usually the dark B. You're not. I'm the dark, I'm normally the dark B.
Yeah, is pretty, mine's pretty dark. But I'm going to let you read right through that without saying anything because
Okay, well, the first thing I have to say before we get into my case is HH is loving the fact that I keep running into his office when I started researching this case. And then as I keep going through and I run in there, I'm like, oh, did you know this? Oh, did you know this? How did I not know they were brothers? And he just is looking at me going, finally, you care. Finally, you care. I am a country girl. I'm a country girl. I grew up. What?
If you did, if Carrie did what you did, and all of a sudden she was interested in my kind of music, a lot of it, or at least the stories behind it, I'd say the same thing he did. So,
and I get it. I get it. And so, but I mean, I just grew up with a different genre. I mean, I like Def Leppard. I like things like that, but I was never one of those hard rock girls. Just wasn't. Okay. So we are talking about the murder of Dimebag Darrell. And I want to tell you, I always wondered why it was called Dimebag Darrell. Well, I found out, and I did include it in this. So I hope, y'all are as excited as I am because I'm honestly very excited to cover this. So Dimebag Darrell's real name was Darrell Lane Abbott, and he was born in August of 1966 in Ennis, Texas. That's right outside of Dallas, for those who don't know. And what I found interesting, he was born to Carolyn and Jerry Abbott. His dad, Jerry Abbott, was a country music producer.
Right.
And yet, I know. So, yeah, your son totally went the other direction. Now, Daryl was the second son of the couple. Both sons followed in Jerry's footsteps with their love of music. Now, the thing that I really found interesting, Daryl's parents divorced when he was around 13 years old, but they stayed a connected, happy family. They still co parented. I mean, then that was before it was a thing. They lived near each other so that the kids could go back and forth between the houses.
That's awesome.
And I was like, okay, it happened before, and so people could learn. But Daryl credited his dad with giving him his first guitar at the age of 12. Now, guys, I did not know that guitars had names. He was given a Les Paul style Hondo.
You didn't know that they had brand names? Oh, Terry.
I mean, I knew they had names like, give me another guitar. Gibson. Like, I knew they had that. But I learned as we get into this, they even have like nicknames for the guitars, and there's custom ones. And different shapes do different. Okay, yeah. Let's just say Terry's not the smartest or the brightest crayon in the box when it comes to music.
It has nothing to do with being smart or not. It is just not something that you've had to worry about. It is not something you've had to encounter. I am the person who got guitars. I have guitars. That's something I've thought about. It's not smart or not. So
yeah, I guess it just wasn't my thing. But then I asked my husband, I'm like, yeah, and his dad also gave him an amplifier. What did he need an amplifier for? And he goes, maybe to plug the guitar into. I was like, your guitar doesn't plug into anything. He goes, Terry, it's a different kind of guitar. He goes, my other guitar does plug in.
I need to hear HH play.
I don't know if he plays well.
Did Jen teach you nothing about rock?
I liked her. She didn't, bang her head on stuff. I just never understood the concept of banging your head and getting a headache. Just never understood it. Like I said, though, I do like some rock. I just wasn't into that kind of stuff. Now, HH is one that I can say a song. He can tell me which album it was on and the year it was released. And he can do it for country, rock, some blues, some jazz. And I'm just like, why do you know this useless information? And you know what he says? Well, why do you know how many victims Jeffrey Dahmer had? How do you know where he was born? How do you know about the Green River Killer? And I'm like, okay, point taken.
If you know anything about Sam, the fact that she said, I can't see Sam in a mosh pit. However, I also couldn't see my son crowd surfing, and we saw how that went. So
yeah, well, I've been in a mosh pit. Now, guys, I had a checkerboard shaved in my head at one point in my time because I liked punk rock.
Yeah, punk. Yeah.
So, but anyway, but Daryl said he was heavily influenced by Black Sabbath. Guys, don't laugh. I was like, isn't that a cat? I had never heard of Black Sabbath. Did learn that I do know one of their songs. I forgot what the song is now, but I do. Once I heard it, I was like, oh, yeah, I know that. But I didn't know who the band was. But he was also Judas Priest. I know who that is. I know who Kiss, and I definitely know who Van Halen is because Eddie Van Halen's just hot. But, which I can say all of that is good except for Kiss. I do not like Kiss. I am not now, and have I ever been a Kiss fan. There's not one single Kiss song that I like. So come at me.
She says,
I'm sorry.
She says to the guy who has all the disc, the record albums in the back behind me.
I'm sorry.
Fine. It's not for everybody, and they are not the best musicians in the world. I prefer other people.
But you know what my problem is with them? They hide behind that white funky makeup. I mean, guys, on my personal Facebook page, if you want to go dig through my photos, there's actually a picture of me and my girlfriend with a Kiss tribute band, full makeup and everything. And I was like, the picture was great, but why you gotta hide behind?
Did you ever see their 80s and 90s stuff though? Because they didn't wear makeup at all.
Oh.
They went through a whole phase of being unmasked.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look up the Animalized tour, the 80s.
I am going to also say I am going to go do a deep dive into Kiss. Now, I will say that as we get later on, that I did find that I do like some of the good things they've done. So they're not bad people.
Yeah, I mean, they
and
they
isn't
know they're
Gene
not the best.
Simmons? Didn't they have a reality show? Isn't he the one who didn't marry the girl, but they finally got engaged on the?
Yeah, he had Simmons Family Jewels, and then he was.
I saw that. I liked that.
He was in a relationship with Shannon Tweed forever.
Shannon Tweed.
And
see, I like that.
See, Kiss, me and Kiss, for better or worse, is the same as Dub H with everything else. But I come by it honestly, I guess. My dad was a fan, so.
I grew up, my parents listened to Crystal Gale, Patsy Cline, Elvis, and the Platters.
What about Alice Cooper?
I know who he is.
He's one of my top favorite of all time.
In his music, there are a couple of his songs I like. So I'm not totally against him.
I like him because he knows who he is.
Well,
okay, keep going. Sorry.
The funny thing is, let me tell you how I even learned who Dimebag Darrell was before we go farther. When Double H and I got engaged 21, 22 years ago, whenever it was, his bachelor party was at the strip club that was owned by Darrell and his brother Vinnie. And I was like, why does he own a club? Isn't he in a band or something? So that's how I even knew who Dimebag Darrell was. So I did not know he was part of Pantera. And that leads me right into in 1981, Pantera was formed by Terry Glaze, Tommy Bradford, and Donnie Hart. And they asked Vinnie Paul to join. And he agreed only if they would also bring on Darrell, who was just 15 at the time. Now, guys, this is how uneducated I am. I didn't know Vinnie Paul was Darrell's brother. I ran into HH. I'm like, did you know Dimebag Darrell's brother's Vinnie Paul? And he's like, yes. So I knew who Vinnie Paul was. And whoever just said Queen is just amazing. So, but I think it was cool that he was 15. They agreed. And what I thought was funny, they thought he wasn't a very good guitar player and that he was kind of scrawny. And I was like, boy, did he show them wrong. So he surprised his fellow bandmates by growing his guitar abilities. They said by leaps and bounds in a short amount of time. So once he got accepted into the band, he just took off. Now, he took on the stage name is, okay, this Moscato is doing to me what beer does. It's making me like go gassy, but that's okay. But he went by Diamond Darrell in reference to a Kiss song, Black Diamond.
Black Diamond.
So he went by Diamond Darrell in the beginning. So, why are you laughing at me?
Destroyer album.
Okay. So, Pantera was your typical 80s metal band or hair band. They were a little bit of makeup, not much, and they had really big, fabulous hair. I mean, I will say they put that Aquanet to the test. Okay. They signed with Metal Magic Records in 83 and released their first album, Metal Magic, the same year. Now, the other thing I found amazing and that I loved, their dad, Jerry, was also the band's manager, which I thought was great because he was a country genre guy. I bet it hurt his ears, but he loved his sons, but who knows? Maybe he loved metal. But I love the fact he did that because Darrell was still a teenager. And I'm just going to say, as we're going to find out, the rock world is like any other entertainment business. You need to protect those kids because it's a dirty, naughty business. It really is. Pantera went on to release 2 additional albums, Projects in the Jungle and I Am the Night in 84 and 85. Now, I can say I did know about Projects in the Jungle. I just didn't know. I knew Vinnie Paul. I just didn't know who this Darrell guy was. And yet he was the main guitar guy. But that's okay. But yeah.
Can I quickly just connect with Sam on this? My dad was very much Alice Cooper, Kiss, Metallic. That was my dad. My mom, James Taylor, all the way, to the end of time. That's why,
yin and
it
yang.
just worked out that I'm nicknamed JT because of James Taylor. It just so happens that my initials are JT as well, but it worked that way. So it's funny how that's it, and it's the same for Mrs. Brewgrime and I. She's Jason Mraz, and I'll listen to Flogging Molly. So man,
and I think that's what's good about HH and I. I mean, I just saw this 35 cents. You're still only 35 cents.
I'm still only 35 cents.
Dang, dude, with inflation, you got to at least go up to 37 cents.
No, I'm a millennial. We don't get paid that much. So nothing matches. It doesn't work that way. So, we get the short shaft, which sucks in all kinds of ways. So
now, during this time, and I'll tell you, this is where I also got some more education. Darrell and Vinnie started getting into bands such as Metallica and Slayer. I know who both of those are. I did not realize. So they wanted to take Pantera more into a heavy metal sound. I thought all of it was heavy metal. I didn't realize there was little subgenres like glam metal and thrasher metal.
Lot of subgenres.
I was like, Isn't it all just heavy metal? Can't we just make it easy for people like me? Can't we? Because country, you got country. You don't have sub-country. But anyway, Terry Glaze did not want to do that, which led to the typical contract disputes and led to him leaving Pantera in 86. Now, the band hired Phil Anselmo, I think is how you say it. Is that right? Anselmo?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Later to replace him. Also, at the same time, the band changed record companies and signed with Gold Mountain Records. And Pantera had to release one final record under Metal Magic, and it was called Power Metal. Now, I found this interesting. They said Power Metal was kind of the first album that garnered Darrell all of these rave positive reviews about his riffs. Yes, I know what a riff is, people. And that due to his abilities with these riffs, they didn't need people to sing over his riffs, that you could just add the riffs and let them rip. See how I did that? Rip, riff. Anyway.
Nicely done.
So, but they also said that it showcased the band's move away from glam metal. Now, I still don't get the glam metal.
Oh, did you want me to show this picture of their hair?
Oh,
the glam metal phase?
Yes,
because this is
I totally
absolutely
forgot.
100% glam metal.
So what would Kiss be called? Would Kiss be heavy metal or glam metal? Because they wore a lot of makeup.
No, they're not heavy. They're not heavy metal at all.
Then what are they?
Well, some people might say they are.
I think they are.
Nah, I don't know. I don't know. Does everybody see
But
that?
look
I
at that
believe they do.
hair.
Isn't that amazing?
I love the
Um,
hair. And I mean, I think Vinny's kind of hot. But like I
yeah,
said, I
I
knew who
guess
Vinnie Paul was.
I guess MTV calls them a metal band. Um, I guess they're metal. I see them more. Their riffs and their sound is more rock to me. So yeah.
I
Um,
didn't watch MTV. I wasn't allowed to. So,
I, I mean, MTV was boring when I was watching it, so it was crap.
well, it
That's when
wasn't.
real.
Everybody was watching it when I was growing up, and I wasn't really allowed to, but that's okay. But they moved away from the glam metal. I couldn't find what metal they moved to. If they moved from glam metal, what did they move to? It just said metal. Everything I found
They
just said they moved closer
they're
to heavy metal.
they're considered, so their early stuff was glam, and they're considered to have moved into groove and thrash and heavy metal.
How can you be all three? Why can't you just be
because
one?
because um it depends on the song and the album. I have a
Kelly,
friend of mine, migraine metal, huh? Ah, ah. um I I have a friend of mine, and she's in a doom metal band, which everything's really slow and intentional, and whatever, but some of their stuff also sounds kind of rocky too. So it just like, for instance, Brad Paisley, right? He's got a certain kind of metal, but or not metal, but country.
I'm like,
But there are
Brad
some
Paisley got
songs.
no metal.
But well, he can play rock. I've seen him do it. But there are some songs of his that hit different subgenres, right?
They do. That's
Um,
true.
so it's
Okay,
the
I
same kind of
that makes
thing.
sense. Makes
If
sense. Kind
if
of like when
if I
Keith
had to pick,
Whitley would do some
huh?
bluesy grass kind of stuff.
Yeah, if I had to pick two genres, well, if I had to pick one genre, Pantera's in, it's metal. But if I had to pick two, like a subgenre, I would pick thrash slash heavy, more so than groove. Um,
Okay.
and that just kind of, yeah. Okay, I'm talking way too much. I need to save my voice
Yeah,
for the
that's okay.
ridiculous.
Yeah, save your voice, but that so they it really showcased that he was riffs, and I have to say he can. I went and listened to some stuff, and I was like, he's a pretty damn good guitar player. And it didn't hurt my head like it did when I was younger. So maybe old age is getting better for me. But they moved on to a major record label with Atco Records after the label's talent scout saw Pantera perform live, and they were thoroughly impressed, and they were like, they are more than just a band, they're entertainers. And I think that's significant because I think there's a lot of bands out there that you don't want to go see because they're just not great performers. Um, Now, they released Cowboys from Hell in 1990, which everything I read said gave Pantera their own unique sound. Okay. And it said that it was said to be the blueprint for groove metal, which became another subgenre of heavy and thrash metal, but at a slower tempo. It's still, guys, it's still just heavy metal. But anyway, we're going to keep going. So it went gold in 1983 and platinum in 97. The band played almost 200 live shows for Cowboys from Hell during the 2 years they toured. That's a lot of damn shows, guys. That's a lot of shows.
That's yeah.
Yeah. So Darrell gained that typical rocker reputation because he became a heavy drinking, partying guy while on tour. Um, and I'm going to tell it later on, but I'll tell now. His longtime love, they met when they were 8 or 9 years old. there he is. But I just thought that was cool. So even though he went through all of that wild stuff, he's still stuck with her. They released their next album, Vulgar Display of Power. And I'll be honest, that's the one that I had heard of and I knew a little bit more about, only because after Marion HH kind of thing. And some people say that were some of the best riffs that he ever did, and that he wrote and did a lot of the song structures, which I think shows that he was more than just a guitar player and, good as an entertainer, but he also was behind the music. And I think that's one thing I love about Taylor Swift. She does it all. She writes it, she performs it. She does not, she's the full kit and caboodle, and I think he was too. So now, when Vulgar Display of Power hit the charts, it was at number 44, and they stayed on the Billboard 200 for 79 weeks. I thought that was impressive for somebody who's from Texas and didn't realize Vinnie and Darrell were related, but that's okay. And Vulgar Display of Power was ranked number 10 on Rolling Stone's list of the 100 greatest albums of all time. So, now, with the release of Vulgar Display of Power, Darrell also released a new look and decided that Diamond Darrell no longer suited his image, which led him to adopting Dimebag Darrell as his stage name, mostly Dimebag. Now, the name came from one of his fellow bandmates who said that Darrell refused to accept more than a dime bag of weed at one time, even if it was offered to him for free, because he was scared to be caught with more than a dime bag.
Smart man.
I'm sorry, guys.
They are from Texas.
I know, but I'm like,
for drugs.
I'm like, okay, so you're going to call yourself a dime bag and let the world know that you buy dime bags? Because a dime bag back then could send you to prison for life, But now, I found this interesting because I did not know this. In 89, Darrell was invited to join Megadeth, but he turned down the offer because he said he would only go if Vinnie came. And I have to tell y'all, I like that. Bros having each other's back. So he turned down joining Megadeth, which it just makes you wonder what would have his life been, that would have changed the whole trajectory, of his career, right? Now, Pantera went on to release other albums, but after conflicts with Anselmo, things got really rocky, and then Brown wanted to leave the band. So Pantera ended with the release of their greatest hits album, The Best of Pantera, in September 2003. Darrell and Vinnie decided to form a new band, and they added new members, Patrick Lockman of Halford, Bob Kakaka? I don't know how to say his name. Sorry, Bob. And they formed Damageplan. And guys, I have to tell you, Dimebag and Damageplan, he liked the D's, and I think it was because he was from Dallas. That's all I'm saying on that. But they did sign a contract with Elektra. Yep. They signed a contract with Elektra Records in 2003. They released their first album, Newfound Power, in 2004. And Damageplan, it didn't gain the popularity in as much as they did as Pantera. So they decided to go on the Devastation tour across the nation because they felt they needed to rebuild their fan base because nobody knew who the heck they were. Okay. Now, in April of 2004, a fan named Nathan Gale jumped on stage during Damageplan's concert, and he caused over $1,800 in damage. So just jumped up, freaked out and stuff. And the band chose not to press charges. And they said they weren't concerned about the incident. They said it's a rock concert. Shit happens. So Now, on December 8th, the same year, Damageplan was headlining a concert at the Alrosa Villa nightclub in Columbus, Ohio, which sadly, as everybody knows, turned out to be their last concert. Alrosa's club manager saw a man outside the club and had asked why he was outside and why he wasn't inside, because there was still room in the club for, more people. And the man, who was not known at the time, told the club manager that he was waiting for Damageplan to take the stage because he wasn't interested in the other local bands playing. Damageplan took the stage at 10:15 p.m., playing to a crowd of around 400. Little did the band know that their crazed fan from the April incident had scaled a fence and entered the club through a patio door, or that Nathan Gale attended Damageplan's concert with the intentions to kill Dimebag Darrell, who, as we all know, was one of the top guitar players at the time. Now, the sad thing about this, they were within their very first set, and they were just a couple of minutes into their first song when Gale stormed the stage and shot Dimebag Darrell multiple times, which did lead to his death. Gale then proceeded to shoot several others, killing Jeffrey Mayhem Thompson, Damageplan's head of security, Aaron Hawk, an Alrosa employee who tried to stop Gale, and a fan from the audience, Nathan Bray, who jumped on the stage and tried to help Dimebag Darrell and Jeffrey Mayhem. Damageplan's tour manager, Chris Paluska, and drum technician John Cat Brooks were also injured during the shooting. Now, next part, I didn't know. So it was a little hard to read, and then I went and watched. A Columbus police officer was nearby when the call went out, and he was able to be there within a matter of minutes, and he went in the stage door. Upon entering the club, Officer Niggermeyer shot Gale once in the face with a 12-gauge shotgun. Guys, there is an unedited video footage of the shooting. You can find it on YouTube. I watched it. I will tell you it's horrible. In the video footage, you hear someone say, "Dude, his head is gone," right after Nick Meyer shot Gale. I mean, he was killed instantly. You all get it. You don't need me to paint you a visual. The scary thing, upon searching his body, they found a half-full magazine left still in his Beretta and another 30 rounds.
Wow.
He could have done a lot more damage. Gale's mom told reporters that she was very grateful for Officer Niggermeyer because he stopped her son from killing more people. And that says a lot, because that had to be hard on her. Now, his family has spoke publicly and told reporters that Gale was released from the Marines. He was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, but he came home from the Marines with no medication, and he did not seek help and get medication. And they said he had been acting erratically before the shooting. Now, Gale was mostly raised by his mother, and I think it's important to understand there was definitely mental health issues going on with this young man. After he graduated high school, he works. Ooh, this thing is killing me. Like a lot of us do. You work some low-paying jobs, but he developed a substance abuse problem. And his mom said that her son often complained of being watched, but she thought it was all because of the substance abuse issues. And the issues with his mom got volatile at the house, and she kicked him out. And he was homeless for a while, panhandling, theft. His mother allowed him to return home after he successfully completed a drug rehab program. Now, he was motivated by the September 11th attacks, and that's why he joined the Marines. And his mother was very proud of him. He was clean off drugs. He was in the military, getting his life straight. He was on a good path. He was doing the right thing. So she bought him that Beretta pistol for a Christmas gift, the one he used to kill those people. Now, like I said earlier, he was discharged due to his mental health issues, but he didn't seek treatment after he got out for his diagnosed schizophrenia. And the Veterans Association helped him get a job after he was released. And I can't help but ask, why in the hell did they not guide him to get medication? I need somebody to explain me. I mean, I know you couldn't force him to take it, but they said it wasn't ever offered. There was no prescription ever written for him. So that tells me they weren't offering it. So now Gale was a heavy metal fan all throughout high school, and he was obsessed with Pantera, and he stayed a fan even after the band broke up. Now, one of his friends told a reporter that Gale had told him that Pantera stole his lyrics and used them as his own. And other friends said that he was becoming more and more erratic, and said that once he told them that God told him to kill Marilyn Manson. And he was often seen walking around and holding an imaginary dog and would bother people in the area. He lived in an apartment above some restaurants, retail stores, and things like that. Now, there has never been an absolute motive found as to why he wanted to kill Dimebag Darrell. But like I said, it was speculated he was upset over their breakup of Pantera, and whatever voice he was hearing told him that they stole his writings. But we'll never know the motive behind the death of Dimebag and the others. Now, the one thing I do love about the rock world, I think it's kind of like our true crime community. They stick together, and several bands, I'm sure as everybody knows, has released tributes to Darrell since his murder. And Darrell is still considered one of the all-time greatest guitar players. Now, I mentioned the club that he and Vinnie owned after the day after he was killed. I remember in Dallas, people talking about it. They were everywhere outside of the clubhouse. It became a huge makeshift memorial, and people were there to pay their respects. Now, the clubhouse remained in operation until March of 2019. It was sold and rebranded the year after Vinnie died because they were gone. Now, the other thing I loved about researching this case, Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley from Kiss, they donated a Kiss casket for him to be buried in. And Eddie Van Halen showed up to the funeral with the original guitar that was featured on the back of Van Halen's 2. And there is a picture if you want to show it. Eddie went on to say that an original should have an original because he was going to make a replica for Dimebag. Nope. Oh, there's that picture, but I think there's a picture of the guitar. Maybe I didn't send it. But I loved that he said that Darrell should be buried with the original because he was an original. And I'll just tell y'all that made all of the feels come out of me. And yeah, I so remember that, from Van Halen. So I loved that. Eddie also went on to say he could not and did not want to view Dimebag's body as he wanted to remember him the way he was in life. Dimebag's lifelong partner, Rita Haney, placed the guitar in the casket and kissed Darrell, saying, "See, baby, you didn't get a replica. You got the one." There are many devoted fans of Pantera and Dimebag. In 2022, Guitar Metrics ranked Dimebag Darrell as the 9th top guitar player in their list of 100 greatest guitarists, which that gives me goosebumps, guys. He may be gone, but his music, and I'm sorry, his legend's going to live on forever. And that is my case.
It's it's amazing to me. One of my all-time favorite, festivals, concerts that I've gone to was a metal one. And metal fans are some of the most loving, caring, supportive, inclusive people. I mean, if you go by looks alone, you're highly intimidated. But I've never felt more comfortable and at home than going to a rock metal festival and just talking to people who I would never speak to normally. They're fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I've never been to a metal concert. I saw Twisted Sister. Are they considered heavy metal?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I suppose so.
Are they? Okay. Def Leppard?
Glamish. Yeah.
Okay. I'm like going, see some of those. And then we saw, who was Dean Snyder? Was he Twisted Sister?
No. Yeah, D. Snyder.
D. Snyder. We saw him.
Yeah, he's Twisted Sister.
We saw him with it was a thing in Vegas where they had different heavy metal. I would have to ask HH what it was. Different positions were from different bands. So Dee Snider was there. Eddie Van Halen was there. So they had different things, and it was like a limited thing that they got together. That's about as close as I've ever been to a heavy metal thing. But I had a great time. And reading, I went down a Reddit rabbit hole of reading all of the love. And like I said, they are really like our true crime community. I have to tell you, I didn't expect them to have so many feels. And they had feels. And then I had to stop and think, how judgmental am I that I didn't think they would be? And then I had to stop and remind myself, HH has gone to so many heavy metal things. That's where he spent his money growing up, that and his dime bags when he was young. And he's a good person. And he has feels. So I felt kind of sad about myself that until I looked into this case, I never realized how good their community was and how tight-knit and loving and feels.
Yeah, a lot of their songs are obviously, a lot of songs are very heavy, right? They're very dark. But it all stems from somewhere, and most of it is very intense emotions and feelings. And a lot of people don't go to the next level. My suggestion is that let Dub H pick a concert.
I still have my screw.
Right. Let him pick a concert that he wants to go to that's heavy metal or rock, and go with him. It might go against everything that you're used to, but you'll really appreciate the people.
Does Van Halen count as metal? Because I've seen Van Halen.
I mean, yes, I suppose so. Angie, yes.
Oh, Judas Priest, absolutely.
But like,
because I mean, I'll be honest. I think I want to clarify this real quick. The reason I think I grew up so judgmental, and HH and I have discussed this, I grew up in a house that wasn't a thing. And my first husband, he loved heavy metal. His parents were ones, because he and my brother were friends, they burned the albums because when you played them backwards, they said all the satanic stuff,
No,
supposedly.
they did.
And so I was kind of raised heavy metal leads to drugs, leads to bad people. You need to stick to country. You need to stick to this. But like Quiet Riot, that didn't scare me. I don't know what they would be considered, but they didn't scare me. And but then Two Live Crew didn't scare me, and they became one of my favorite kind of bands. But I think it was because I was raised during that time when if you played the albums backwards, this would happen to you. And then a kid went missing in our neighborhood, and it was said because he listened to that music backwards. I mean, I was like 9 or 10. And I think that always stuck with me. And I got asked to go to metal concerts. And I was like, are you kidding? I don't want to go hang out with those people. And then, got older and stuff. I was like, okay, they're not that bad. But I didn't really get it until I started
I
digging into this case. That's why I kept running in there. And HH is like, yeah, no shit, Terry. They're
there's
not. I was just raised with this preconceived notion
sure.
that I have made it a mission that I am going to get rid of.
there's there's two bands that I think
Okay.
you would.
Give them to me. I'm going to write them down.
And so the first one's the Pretty Reckless. It's primarily rock, but they tour in metal festivals.
Now,
The Pretty
my only
Reckless is
are they old people? Like, I mean, let's just be honest. Those hairband people are
no.
getting up there in age.
The lead singer of the Pretty Reckless was Cindy Lou Who in The Grinch.
Cindy Lou Who
Yeah,
is
Taylor
the lead
Momsen
singer?
and Cindy Lou Who is the lead singer of the Pretty Reckless. They're a very good intro band. The other one is, and I'm blanking now. Hold on, I'll get it. 1 second. One of now this is people can argue with me, and that's fine. They're more than welcome to. But this band, the band Alter Bridge is a great entry band too. And Alter Bridge features Miles Kennedy as the lead singer. And to me, Miles Kennedy is probably one of the best vocalists cross genre of this time period of music, the past like 20
Why is
years.
his name
Um,
familiar?
it's just phenomenal. Miles has been in a lot of different bands. He has recorded with Slash from Guns N' Roses.
Okay, because his name is very familiar. Okay. Oh, Guns N' Roses. I've seen Guns N' Roses.
Well, that's cool. Hopefully early Guns N' Roses, because now it's
It
just
was
sad.
early. I put it this way. I was drinking wine coolers and I couldn't tell my parents I was there. And I was bored to tears, but I was scared to death that somebody was going to come and kidnap me and kill me. But
He might have done something with Apocalyptica. Apocalyptica is really cool too because it's cellos and classical music, but it's metal. They do metal covers. That's really cool too.
no, I wrote those down and I will tell him. I mean, like I said, it's not that I don't like the music. Now, there are some that make my head hurt, but it may be like 1 or 2 songs. But the majority of it,
So,
like I shared with you, that group that my friend's part of, some people wouldn't
right.
like that because it's very loud. But
The bands that I
I wrote
gave
it
you
down.
are a lot more melodic. They're far
Okay.
less screaming.
Okay.
And so they're much
Yeah, I
more
don't do
accessible.
screamo.
They're much more accessible. I don't do a lot of that either. I appreciate the fact that they can do it for as long as they can without sounding like me afterwards, because it is indeed a talent to be able to do that for multiple shows. But yeah. Anyways, moving on.
Now, I have to ask, does anybody know who the Dead Kennedys are?
Yes.
Okay. I like the Dead Kennedys. So,
You know what's really funny? As a kid in high school, I had a friend of mine that really loved the Dead Kennedys, and when he had a chance, he'd draw their logo on the board, which literally was a straight line,
right.
and then a line neck, right, and then I would go up behind him, and I would finish. I would put the other line on the other side and make it a bow tie.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Yes, of course I did.
Yeah. Well, that's my case. So, like I said, my case, not as dark as yours, but I will say I think it's leading me down a road to look at some issues with the way I was raised and things I was taught. And for me to
Yeah.
undo some of those thoughts, because I do know occasionally I'll hear a song play and I will look at HH and I'm like, seriously? You listen to that? And then I'm like, it's not the music I don't like. It's just what I'm scared that the music is attached to. And so, like I said, that is something I am going to work on.
That's one of those things. So like, then we'll move into mine. But a lot of metal does talk about dark stuff, right? But it's kind of the same situation as like a lot of the country artists. They sing about jacked up trucks and all this crap, but like
Mm-hmm.
they drive a Hyundai. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like rap artists, their entire thing is about creating a world. It's about creating this environment. It's not necessarily our favorite one. It's not necessarily the most positive one,
I'm like,
but they create this world with their music, right? And it doesn't mean that they do it. It doesn't mean that they participate in it. They might sing about like murder, but it doesn't mean they murdered. It's the same kind of concept. Watch Shrek, look up Kiss with No Makeup, relink The Little Mermaid. I can't change your opinion on The Little Mermaid, but Terry, I will insist on Shrek, and I will send you the full Animalized concert from the late 80s, early 90s,
I will.
in which they were making
I will do
this
it.
and tights and very 80s, and yeah,
And somebody said
makeup.
Pink Floyd. I love Pink Floyd, The Wall. So
No, I spent my entire childhood on classic rock or rock and roll. I call it rock and roll. I Angie's gonna hate me for this. No, wait, no. Who said that? Bells. Bells is gonna hate me for this. But I could never. I tried so hard, and maybe I need to try again now that I'm older. But Pink Floyd to me, and it's probably because of my ADH, my attention deficit. It's just like it takes so long to get to something to the point that I just
The Wall is the only Pink Floyd, The Wall, that album, that is the only one I can do. I can't do the rest. It would be, it's like a book that you would put down. And like I said, and yeah, and I'm not going to say which country artist that I dated, but I will say the funny thing.
No. You can't drop that. Not they. Come on.
Can't.
Are they gone?
No, they're not.
Gone from this world? Are they?
No, they are
okay?
not.
Are they recording
not.
artists that have albums that may have reached a certain number of like
Oh,
sales?
Yes.
Oh, come on, Terry. Hold on. You texted to me, and I won't say anything. I just want to know. Everybody
You
else
don't
has
know?
to guess, but you have to text.
Okay,
I don't
I'm
remember.
texting
You've never
right
told
now.
me this. I don't think you've ever told me this.
Okay, I just sent to you, but he loved heavy metal, and I always thought it was so strange with him being a country and what he was, and the way he explained it to me. He goes, "I like it because it makes my mind go numb."
Well, and
because when he listened to country, he was too busy listening and comparing himself to them. And when he listened to the
That's fair.
other, he could just lose himself in the music. And he literally would be sitting there. And I'd be like, what the
I don't think
doing?
I've listened to anything from that guy, from that fella. Actually,
Oh,
but
oh,
but
no
like
way.
you have to think about it like this, like
How
the
about this?
root
I'll let
of
you
most. Huh?
pull up a picture of him here.
I'll
You
do
can
it.
pull up a
I'll do it
picture and
now.
you
I'll
can
make
show the
sure.
picture, but not say his
Okay.
name. And we'll
I
see if
will not
anybody
say his
knows who
name.
he is.
I will download the picture.
I mean,
without
I will
the
tell you
image.
this. Double H, that was Monkey Butt's first concert we took her to see. And I was like, I mean,
Okay.
it's not like I ever slept with the guy. Come on, y'all. I wasn't easy or anything.
Yet. No, I'm kidding. It's a joke.
I was young. I mean, we were young.
Oh, now listen. If you guys
If
know who
anybody
this
knows
is,
country, see if you pull
you almost said
up
it
an
too. Just
older picture. I almost. Oh, you could
Is
have
that-
picked a better picture. That's a bad picture.
then. Well,
Okay.
you told me to pick one. I just picked one.
That's okay. There's better ones
I
out
just
there.
picked one. I thought that was handsome. I think he's got a heck of a jaw structure.
Nope. I miss knows who it is.
Amos knows.
So does Kelly P. So, yeah. He played at Cutter's along with Mark Chestnut and Tracy Bird. And my grandmother lived up there, and that's where my mom's from, and spent a lot of time up there. So I took a walk on the Walker side. And you want to know another
Apparently
interesting
not
tidbit?
a horizontal walk.
Nope, not the horizontal walk. My kid's dad is really good friends with Mark Chestnut. And Mark married Tracy, who lived next door and stuff. So we all kind of. Oh, yes, I went to
you
Cutter's.
and Bells.
Yes.
You guys need to talk because I think you guys live close, relatively close to each other.
Yeah, spent a lot of time at Cutter's. Yeah, a lot of time. I was very thankful that I never got in trouble there because my uncle was the justice of the peace in Nederland, which is a little too close to Cutter's, and I was worried the word would get out if I ever got in trouble.
Are you?
Yeah. And the other thing that I find interesting about Clay is that we both have MS because he also has his band
Really?
with MS. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
And that kind of tanked his career. I mean, he still has his career, but I think he would have went on to be even bigger if he didn't start having all of the problems. Oh, it was a meat market, and the meat was very fine.
Have you publicly said what area you live in?
I currently live in the Austin area, but I was born and raised in Houston. But my mom was from Port Neches Groves area, and my mom and my dad was from Port Arthur. My parents were the only ones who left the area. I'm going back there this weekend, so they all still live there. I went to homecoming and prom at P&G, and I can sing their fight songs still, but I never went to school there.
Your mom was very close to Bells.
Yep. So
you and Bells need to compare notes.
Yeah, Bells, we might. Oh, you're from Port Neches. I will be in Port Neches on Saturday for family Christmas.
Y'all need to get together.
Do you still live there? I need to know. I'll put it this way. When I was younger, I hated that my parents wouldn't let me move there because I wanted to be an Indianette, which is the drill team for Port Neches Groves. But now I look back and I think, I'm so glad we moved to Houston because our lives were so much different. All my cousins, pretty much everybody still lives there. Nobody really left. You know, they maybe went to Groves or were Nederland or Beaumont or Orange, but they never left and went to the big city. Oh, she's in Beaumont.
Terry. The Indianettes, that's a choice.
INDIANS, scalpel minion, scalpel. INDI. I mean, I have an Indian address in my office behind my computer if you want to see it. And it says PNG on
I'm
it.
just saying. I looked at there. Oh, both of Belle's nieces were drum majors at PNG.
Yeah. But there's a
Um,
petition going around. They want their name changed. They want the fight song gone. And when I
well,
hear the fight
I,
song or I sing it, I'm like, well, no wonder they want that gone.
I looked at their outfits, and it is it. You might as well have the original Thanksgiving and cough all over again.
They were
It is
classy. What are you
something
talking
else.
about?
It is. It's very Texas. We'll leave it at that.
It is very Texas, but it just goes to show you, I never went to school there, wasn't raised there, but my parents and our relatives, and we spent so much time. It was an hour, 15 minutes from my house. I mean, when I got my car, I drove there all the time, almost every other weekend. Even when I was up in Nacogdoches SFA area, drove back and forth.
It's
So
always the mascot. It's
now y'all
always
know
the
way more about
wow.
me than you ever needed to know.
Wow. That, yep, that is indeed a problem. I just looked up the mascot. That is an issue.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't going to mention that. Hold on.
No,
let
it's
me grab
okay.
my headdress.
Uh-oh. We've been going for so long. Terry needs to step away. Yeah,
No, it's
oh, did they
all
really?
headdress.
The drum majors had to make the headdresses. I'll say this much. They're really impressive looking. Oh, there, look,
Look,
there
I
you go.
have a miniature one with the feathers. So it
I love
hangs
you
over
so
there
much.
so I can think about my mom.
Texas is a
So, I
different
mean,
world.
I will say, there's a lot of problems with it nowadays, and I can see that. I absolutely can see that. But I also don't believe we can erase history. We can maybe tweak it a little bit as far as future, but we shouldn't scalp anyone. Let's just be honest. We shouldn't.
All right.
So,
So
well,
here's the part where I tell you all, oh man, I don't even know if I'm gonna make it through this. I'm gonna try.
oh, please,
Sorry.
trigger warning.
Yeah, that's
Is
what
it
I'm
short?
doing. What, the script?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's ever short with me. But I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best to keep my voice calm and not turned up. There is a
Hold on back.
hardcore trigger warning with this. It involves crimes against very, very, very young children. I tried my best to avoid any intense and dark descriptions that are insane, but the intensity is still there. So if that's not your thing, if you start it and it's not your thing, I totally get it. Totally fine. But I
So
just
you're
want to
telling me
let
I
you
can
know.
hang up if I need to?
I mean, if you have to, I've done these things on my own, so I can do it. But yeah. So again, I I did my best to keep this as untriggering as possible, but the mere topic is triggering. It just is. All right. And this is all about Ian Watkins. And I've entitled this script Monstar.
That's appropriate.
So being a rock star affords one a lot of freedom. Sure, there's artistic freedom, doors open to them that might not typically be open. But if behaviors remain unchecked, rock stars can get lost while speeding down the highway of life at hundreds of miles per hour. Brian Van Dyke says, rock stardom isn't compatible with satisfaction. It is, in essence, satisfaction's very antithesis. To be a rock star is to revel in need, because it is the ongoing and relentless need of the audience that calls them into being. I feel like I'm narrating a Max Payne video game. If anybody gets that, you're my best friend. Um, I think there's something in what Brian says, and whether it's the music artist who feels that way or the business of music that drives that feeling of always needing more, producing more, earning more, it's a reality that we have to consider. Rock stars aren't born. It's safe to say that nurture and not nature. Although we are led to believe that some are born with an innate talent for music, which that paired with sheer luck can lead someone to being a larger than life rock star. But I think, these are the friends that I have. Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Sorry, I'm having to respond to a message that somebody's calling me out saying, I cannot believe you actually shared that. Somebody's wife is
Oh
not going
no.
to be happy with me.
Oh no.
It's okay.
Terry, I'm
Hey,
sorry.
you cannot erase history. History is there. You can't
If it's in
erase
the
it.
past, if it's in the
Exactly.
past and you trust the person, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah. So, but I knew it
Okay.
wouldn't take long.
If I got you in trouble, I seriously apologize.
Okay. Did you not remember my glass?
Yeah,
I'm
well, I
the
know that.
reason Santa has a
But
naughty list.
but but
I'm okay
but
with it.
but a phrase on a glass and then reality are two different things. Also, I live with Catholic guilt being a cradle Catholic, so that's just
So
how
do
it
I.
is.
Remember,
I'll apologize.
I live with Catholic
That's
guilt
right.
too.
All right. So I think it's the need or want for more that seems to drive celebrities or rock stars. Lane Staley, singer for Alice in Chains, did an amazing job. He sold millions despite the drug problem that he had that was debilitating. But that's not why he became a rock star. In Staley's case, he wanted to become a rock star as a kid because he believed becoming a celebrity would lead his father to get back in touch with him. This might not sound good audio wise. He ended up
Oh,
dying way too soon.
that's sad.
Yeah. He was emaciated. He was living alone in an apartment because, it just didn't happen. He said he regretted how his life ended. And Van Dyke said it was, quote, as if he were following someone else's script. But that's kind of how I see rock stars most of the time. It's a script that's followed to ensure greatness. I don't think rock stars have as much autonomy as we think they do, as they make us believe they do. So they search for other ways to find that autonomy. And Van Dyke also says the function of rock star is at its most existential level the function of the hero, the comforter, the shaman, all in one. We look to them for relief at moments when we need a pickup, or when we need to fill the quiet of an empty room, or the boring lull of a long drive. We turn to pop stars as teenagers because they assure us of the possibilities of the world ahead. As adults, they also sometimes remind us of the orderly calm of the nostalgic past. That's a lot of pressure on somebody. Van Dyke continues and says, they are like us, but not us, possessed of our appetites, but appetites at a scale that would kill most normal human beings. Okay.
I'm going to just be a mom for a minute. Smoking doesn't help your voice any. Just saying.
I know. No, you can be a mom. It's fine. I do realize that. Um so this will tell you how bad it is. I grabbed that and I meant to grab my drink. I think that this is really Oh man, I think this is really no, no. I'm not gonna lie. This is not gonna. I can't finish a sentence. We might have to record this separately.
Okay. Hey, if it is too hard, let's not do it. If it's hurting your throat, you know my rule. The main rule is you always take care of number one because you can't take care of anyone else if you're down. So the oxygen mask is dropping. You need to put it on you. And guess what? We can wait. I mean, maybe we do a live stream with my Silk Road
We can do
and
that.
this because I missed. We can do a catch up combo
Okay, that's a good
because your voice is
idea.
getting more and more scratchy.
Yeah, and it's starting to cut out. So
And just so you know, throat
I'm
coat, like I told you today, slippery elm. Drink it, drink it,
got it.
drink it. And I left it. It's called
I've got it
slippery elm.
downstairs. Yeah, I have it downstairs. It's like my go-to when I was
Yeah.
doing musicals.
Yeah. I think because this is such a heavy topic, I think you being in tip top shape will only do justice to
Yeah.
you and the story. Just my 2 cents, because I'm not even worth
No,
35 cents. I'm just 2 cents.
you are correct because this is one of those scripts where it's very unlike me, where
Mhm.
there are no jokes. There is nothing funny.
It's not.
This is
Yeah.
something that is so serious that there is no room for that. And it is very different. It is very, very difficult for me. It was difficult for me to write this. But the reality is that it's the reality. And it's something that has happened. And, you know, we have such a tendency to glorify rock stars and to put them on a pedestal in which they could do a ton of stuff and get away with it. But I will tell you this right now. Just when you think that Ian Watkins has gone too far, he then goes and runs a marathon across that line.
Mhm.
So this is it does not it doesn't get easier. It is rough. Um so I agree with what you just said.
Mom called.
So we'll do a surprise slash advertised catch up stream.
Yeah, we'll do it on a different night and just we'll make it a little surprise. I would call it a Christmas surprise, but I'm going to just be honest. It's not a Christmas surprise because that's not very Christmassy. But we'll call it a surprise.
I'm supposed to record with Brew Crime tomorrow. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see.
Tell Mike if he needs me to step in. I'm available tomorrow night.
Do you know what? You know what? I'm actually covering a case that you covered, which is the Power Rangers case on the boat.
Oh, okay. That is so funny because I opened up an account, a prison account, to be able to talk with somebody related to the Chase Lackey case. And remember, I had sent a letter to that person
Yes.
and I
Yes.
never heard back, but I had a message in that account
Oh,
in a
did you hear
different
back?
with a password for me to send that goes on the letter, and I have to send that with a copy of my driver's license to get put on the list to communicate with her because she's transitioned.
Right.
That would be amazing. That
All right,
tell Mike
so
if he needs me to be you, I
you
would love to be
available
you.
tomorrow.
I am.
It
Tomorrow's
would
Friday,
be 8
right?
p.m. your time. Yeah.
That's fine. I can do it.
We'll have this conversation offline because
Yeah.
that's gonna have to happen. This is fun.
Except the yay part. Don't know where those letters came from. Uh, I don't get that one.
What?
So
What? Which part?
the
Which one?
yat part. Oh,
The
are you asking? So
extra.
I sent a letter to a killer and asked to speak with her, and I didn't hear back. And then when I got this prison account, there was a letter, a note in there for me what I needed to do to get on the list. Because once I'm on the list, I can write letters, phone calls, and even visit her, which
Right.
I will not be doing.
Oh, correct. I will say this. Hold on. I'll tell you the color. Red, right? Red.
I don't remember.
I think it was red.
Go, go, Power
This deals
Rangers.
This deals with a Power Ranger. Because tomorrow we are recording the Power Rangers episode. That's the genre we're doing.
Yeah, we can
We'll
talk about that offline. But why don't we do this? Yep. Why don't we end it? You rest your voice, and instead of you calling me or Mike, why don't you use this new device that we have in this modern time, and you can text? And why don't you do that? And why don't you save your voice?
Yeah. Vocal rest is not my my strong suit, as you can tell.
I know, but your wife would really appreciate it if you would just shut up for a little bit.
On so many levels, for so many reasons.
I know. Tell her, I get it.
Yeah,
but no.
And honestly, I would have pushed through, but I can really feel the strain right here.
Well, we can hear it. Good. It's not good.
Yeah,
we can hear it.
Way worse. It got way worse.
So it is good. It was fabulous to see everybody. And you need to go rest your voice. Let's text. And then we'll plan on when we surprise everybody and we come back and we do a mixed up. His P.O. box is listed on our YouTube channel page. And did you put it in? Okay. I put it in there. I put yours and mine. So it should be in there. It's also, I believe it's on our website.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Oh, but I know I did have it in the YouTube stuff.
Yeah. Just have to.
I'll go put it in the community notes on this after we log off so that everybody has it.
I mean, provided you don't send me rat poison, we're good.
And also, since the loyal and faithful are here, if you would like to get a special first edition of the True Crime and Wine Time Christmas card, if you will email us your name and address, there will be a very limited number of those going out. You can send it to truecrimeandwinetime@gmail.com, and you'll get a little surprise in your mailbox. So let's go rest.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
And everybody be sure to give a thumbs up. We're getting closer and closer to being able to monetize. So that is something that we're really shooting for.
Yes. Oh, well, it'll be nice to be able to follow through on postcards and Christmas cards and everything else. So
it will be. And we are also, we'll give you all a little tidbit there. Oh, and I'm wearing one of the shirts now. We will also be doing some merch giveaways. When we hit 1,000, we are going to pull a group of names and start sending some surprises to people. So
not only that, but I will be doing a makeup tutorial live.
Yes. Live.
And and I will be trying the last dab hot sauce with Pepper X, the hottest pepper in the world. So I will be doing both that, which I have on my counter, and I have not touched it because I promised I would do it for this. That and makeup. I will probably do the makeup first because who wants
about this?
their mascara to run? Nobody.
Is that it's all you, and I just get to sit here and drink wine.
I mean,
unless somebody comes up with
makeup,
something they want me to
wig,
do.
Whatever. So yes, share us far and wide. As soon as we hit 1,000, it's going to be a party.
It's going to be a party. Well, you go rest up, and I'm going to say stay safe, watch out for crime, and enjoy your wine time. See y'all next time.